Welcome everyone. In this video we're going to go over the setup and teardown of our Saturn KaBoat. Stay tuned. Now the funnest part of owning a boat is certainly not the putting it together and tearing it down and schlepping it around. But with a little practice and a few little pointers, it does get easier. Now most boats come with some type of either hand or foot pump, which works in a pinch, but it's time consuming and frustrating. So for us, we picked up a 12 volt powered automatic high volume high pressure air pump, which is a great way to go, especially with this type of boat or any boat that has high pressure airflow or anything else that requires higher pressures. So our pump is a automatic style where you can adjust and set the pressure that you'd like to use. In this case, there's actually 3 different pressures that the boat is pumped up to, depending if it's the tubes, the keel, or the high pressure airflow. In the case of the high pressure airflow, you really do want it inflated as much as possible to stiffen the floor of your boat and make it stable to stand on. Launching wheels are a great addition as well. Just about any place that we've launched at, whether it's a boat ramp or just somewhere on a gravel bar into the side of a lake or a river, it's much appreciated, especially with the larger, heavier, bulkier boats. They make pretty much anything doable for one person to manage on their own. So our boat has 3 chambers for the tubes. They're fairly large. I believe they're 18-inch diameter tubes, which makes for a little bit of a drier ride and also makes a reasonably comfortable seat to sit in the boat as you tour around. So generally what you do is you'll fill up your tubes, which will help form the shape of your boat, do your floor next, and then your keel last. Alright, once you get your boat inflated to the recommended pressure, then you can hang your engine off the back, tighten it down, and just load any other light gear that you're going to use before you launch the boat in the water. Best to keep the boat fairly lightly loaded until you get it run down in the water, then you can add the rest of your gear and people from there. So get everything tightened down properly so it's not going to fall off or go anywhere. Connect your fuel line to your fuel tank. Prime it up, make sure you've got some fuel in there, and give it a little test run before you're stuck in the water with an engine that won't start. When you do your test run, keep it brief. Most engines are water cooled, and if they're not sitting in the water, they're going to get hot fast, so you don't want to cause any damage. Just make sure it runs alright and starts. Most inflatable boats come with a set of oars and oar locks, and good idea to have them available as well, just to make sure you have another means of propulsion. If you've never tried rowing one of these things, it would probably be a good idea to give it a go while you're still close to shore, just so you get the hang of how to position yourself to sit so you're not whacking yourself in the knees with the ends of the oars or just spinning around in circles. So once you have all your basics in place, then you're pretty much ready to hit the water. Now the work's over, it's time to enjoy things. So here we are, just getting underway, tidying up the last few little odds and ends inside the boat, and starting our tour. This little guy, he loves to get out on the water, the little skipper. Enjoy taking him as well. If you are light enough and your engine's powerful enough to get up on plane, you'll notice that weight distribution is a thing. So to get up on step in this boat, you really have to lean out there far forward, lightly loaded. Ideally you just have maybe another smaller person in the front to help balance things out. So time to head back and get unloaded. So we take everything out of the boat, drag it up on shore or onto the ramp, grab the engine and hoist it off there, throw it in the back of the vehicle, and start deflating everything. So basically you generally follow the same sequence, though it doesn't really matter a whole bunch. Get everything deflated, and ideally what you'll also do is flip your intake and exhaust around on your pump and use the vacuum function to really bring down the bulk of the boat before you fold it up and try and roll it. Always a good idea to clean out any little rocks or other debris that collects in the bottom of your boat from climbing in and out. Just saves the tubes and the floor from getting damaged. So what happens when you don't deflate your boat using the vacuum function of your pump? Well, here you can see what happens is it basically holds a lot of air and is very difficult to get it all chased out so that you can get it all packaged up nicely, folded over and rolled up so you can load it up. So when you use your pump to vacuum down your boat, everything will start to lay nice and flat, and you can easily flip in and fold your tubes up into the center of the boat and fold the ends over the transom and roll it kind of from back to front. So I keep a couple little scraps of carpet that we used in the floor to protect the airfloor, and I use those across the brackets that support the launching wheels so that it doesn't chafe against the material and rub some holes in the boat as you transport it. Once everything's all rolled up, you can wrap it with a ratchet strap or any other kind of webbing that you want to use. Sadly, when you don't deflate it properly, then it doesn't generally fit in the transport bag very well. Although you can get different ones that are a little larger, some even have wheels to just make maneuvering it around better, which I think I'll still invest in at some point here. Though I often do this myself, it's so much nicer when you have someone available to help you out. Being it's bulky and awkward, if not all that heavy, just the same, it's still a bit of a hassle to get loaded back up, so it's nice if you have some help. Well, that's it guys, thanks for coming along with the setup and teardown of our Saturn KaBoat. Hopefully you found this helpful.